2017 kicked so much ass, dude. Oh my lord, it was easily one of the best years for video games in a long freaking time. There were so many amazing games that I played this year that I actually could not bring myself to only do 10, so this year we're doing a top 15. Now keep in mind, while I am doing more than normal, I didn't play enough to do a top 20, so there are going to be a couple of games that I did like this year that are not going to be on this list, so just keep that in mind if there's a couple you didn't see here. But yeah, either way, I really want to take this opportunity to shine some light on everything I really enjoyed this year, because I don't talk about new games a whole lot, and of course it's unless a video like this, but yeah, you guys know the drill. It's your boy Nitro Rad, and here are the top 15 raddest games I played this year.
Number 15.
It's been a pretty great experience seeing id's old properties make a proper comeback in the past couple of years. Last year we had the fantastic Doom, and this year we've got the second installment in the new Wolfenstein series. Nazis have taken over the world, so it's time to kick some ass and take it all back, sweet and simple. Like the previous title, it's classic first-person shooter action brought into the modern era with a huge coat of polish. The action is fresh, fast, and fluid. The ability to dual-wield any combination of weapons was one of my favorite additions. New weapons like the laser cannon make plowing through hordes of enemy soldiers more satisfying than ever. But perhaps my favorite thing about this game is how unafraid it is to embrace that silliness we saw through the cracks of the first game. The heavy themes will hit you like a brick, but being equally as ridiculous as it is serious, well, that's the story's greatest strength.
Sweet God in heaven, a working, mother-flushing toilet. I never thought I'd see the day.
Number 14.
I've always fancied myself more so a fan of the 3D Metroid games over the 2D ones, but hot damn was this ever the game we needed. Choosing Metroid 2 as the foundation for this game was a great move, as it allowed for them to take an already existing world and flesh it out with a slew of brand new ideas. The counterattack really helped to streamline the gameplay, while the Aeon abilities introduced brand new ways to explore the environment around you, making it feel more like a totally new adventure rather than a remake. Samus Returns combines the exploration of the 2D games with the atmosphere and sound design of the Prime series. It is a wonderful blend that creates an awesome 2D world. Samus is finally back, and with Metroid Prime 4 on the way, dude, oh, she is here to stay.
Number 13.
I have been so done with this series for a while now, but let me tell you, dude, this new one is actually really good. They finally got their heads out of the 17 and 1800s and brought us back to 48 BC in ancient Egypt. I'm not gonna lie, I do not care about the American Revolution, I do not care about the French Revolution, and I do not care about whatever happened in this one, but ancient Egypt, dude, sign me the frick up! With the vast change in setting also comes a total restructure of the series formula. It's now a straight-up RPG game, leveling up, doing side quests. It's all very reminiscent of The Witcher 3. The combat has been reworked to be a lot less flashy and a lot more involved. Substance is more important than style after all, and it seems like they finally figured that out. I had a blast exploring ancient Egypt. You can fully explore the tombs of all of the ancient pyramids, the Greek cities, scale to the top of the tombs themselves. You can even see mirages in the desert. It's incredibly cool. They really nailed the setting this time. Seeing firsthand the political climate during Greece's involvement in Egypt, oh man, it brought the history nerd in me right back out. For once, I actually felt interested in the setting because of the world they built, instead of because they said, hey, look, it's Cleopatra.
Number 12.
The Evil Within, though not looked at favorably by many, is one of my favorite games. The Evil Within 2 struck a great middle ground between what worked in the first game and a slew of brand new ideas that takes the series in a very different but very good direction. The story's not as ambitious this time, for better or for worse, but it ramps it up in about just every other category. The element of survival has been reworked to make scouring for supplies all the more important, which nicely complements the game's new open world design. The monster design freaking rules. They really went nuts with it this time, and it pays off. It's easily a much scarier game than the first one. The story did leave much to be desired personally, but I'm hearing a lot of people who hated the first game tell me that they're really loving The Evil Within 2, and I'm at least very happy to hear that.
Number 11.
Finally got myself a PlayStation VR this year, and of course that means I played a lot of rad stuff in VR. Shooty Fruity, that was super fun, testing your reflexes and your ability to multitask. Also really liked Accounting Plus, an anxiety-inducing nightmare comedy hell game from the mind of Justin Roiland and friends. But if there's one VR game that I was really impressed by, it's gotta be this little-known indie game called Static. It's a puzzle game where your hands are both trapped inside a box, and the game tracks the controller's movement, so you really feel like they're in there. If you want to look at the top or the sides, you literally just do that. And you gotta push all of the buttons on the controller to try and figure out what buttons trigger what mechanisms on the box. I think I can best describe it as keep talking and nobody explodes meets please don't touch anything. You're plopped in with little to no instruction, and you just gotta figure out what all the buttons do, look around your environment for clues, and figure out how to solve the puzzle in your hands. It's a wonderfully curious little game. The ending really caught me by surprise too, in a really good way. If you have a PlayStation VR, I cannot stress enough how much I recommend Static.
It's unusual watching the effects of your behavior on another screen. It can feel strange at first, but you soon forget.
Number 10.
2017 was a hit and miss year for Sonic. We got the decent but forgettable Sonic Forces. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, wish it was better, but that's easy to forget and forgive when we had the best 2D Sonic game ever freaking made. Sonic Mania is the child of the pure love this series has generated in its 25 years of existence. I think Donkey said it best. It is a game made by fans, but it is not a fan game. It takes every element of the classic series, remixes it, and throws in a ton of brand new amazing ideas on top of it. I've never played a game so ready to grab a 20-year-old joke and throw it at you as a boss fight. No spoilers, but you guys know the one, and it freaking ruled. On top of being a fan-freaking-tastic game, they've got references for the most die-hard of Sega fans. From the low-poly Saturn graphics for the bonus stage to that UFO hanging onto the Emerald. Sonic Mania is everything we needed from Sonic, and I cannot wait to see what these teams are gonna work on next.
Number 8.
Oh, dude, Neo kicks so much ass, man. I remember playing the hell out of the alpha and the beta, and I got this one day one, and I could not put it down. Neo's a fast-paced hack-and-slash RPG, very reminiscent of the Souls games, and please don't kill me, but I do not like the Souls games. I'm not a big fan of gritty medieval settings. I'm really sick of Norse mythology, and I don't know, it's just a little too slow-paced for me. Alright, so what you do is you take that formula, you speed it up, you put it in feudal Japan, and replace all the Norse bullshit with yokai mythology. Okay, now we got something right up my alley. Combat is tight and satisfying, but my favorite part was slowly exploring every area, carefully inching forward, making sure you don't get ambushed. You kinda felt like a samurai, which is what you are, and that's pretty cool. If you're a fan of the Souls series, or you like tough-as-nails action games, or, I don't know, you like samurai games, I don't know, just play Neo, give it a shot, it freaking rules, dude.
Number 7.
Oh, 2017 was a great year for horror games, and it was a great year for platformers. Little Nightmares is both. Created by developers who previously worked on the Little Big Planet games, Little Nightmares puts you in control of Six, a young girl who finds herself on a giant ship full of bizarre monsters, narrowly escaping the long, lanky arms of the janitor and avoiding being cooked alive by the chefs. It's a charmingly eerie game with a great focus on practical puzzle solving, escaping your pursuers, and some good old platforming. It's a very show-don't-tell kind of story. The environments and physical interactions between characters are what tell the story. The character design and the grim environments really reel you in and make you fall in love with this spooky-ass game. I really love this game. A lot. I beat it like 5 times.
Number 6.
You know, when they first showed Nier Automata at E3 2015, my ignorant ass self at the time was thinking, a Nier sequel. Did anybody even like that game? Now that I've completed it, all I can think is I need to play every Drakengard game. Oh my god, Yoko Taro is a brilliant director who's created so many absurd and lovable stories. He's just never had a strong development team to back his ideas up with polished gameplay, hence the mere cult status of Nier and Drakengard fans. Until now, after partnering with Platinum Games, he was finally able to create something truly special. Nier Automata combines Platinum's signature hack-and-slash action with elements of bullet hell shooters, tied together with a brilliant narrative that questions the value of human life versus artificial intelligence. And yeah, I know that sounds like something that's been done to death, but believe me when I say the ending of this game, it's gonna leave you with a lot to think about. If you plan on playing it, you gotta do yourself a favor and reload your save after seeing the credits. You unlock a second campaign and 2 more additional campaigns after it to play through to unlock the true ending. There's a really cool 4th wall break at the end. I heard about it, but it still caught me way off guard. It definitely wasn't anything I was expecting. Man, Yoko Taro just put himself on the map with this one, and I cannot wait to see the crazy shit he's gonna do next.
Number 5.
For every Kickstarter disappointment, there is a Kickstarter banger. This year's Ukelele, well, it managed to capture some of the magic of classic platformers, but it was held back by a lot of chunky game design. But before the year's end, we had the pleasure of getting a Hat in Time. Oh my god, dude, it was everything I hoped it was gonna be. A charming and magical adventure, completely reviving the collectathon platformer, while paying homage to the ridiculous scenarios of cartoon RPGs like Paper Mario. Oh, a finger's pointed at the second chapter, dude. Pitting 2 directors against each other to make a better movie. It was my favorite chapter in the whole game, the conductor being my favorite character. It's a really funny game, too. The environment is filled with gags and characters to interact with. It's all great fun. The amount of polish and detail here is staggering. This is a project that had a lot of love put into it, and the final product really is something special. From the opening sequence to the credits, I had a smile on my face the entire time.
Number 4.
Traditional animation is something I've been really missing in recent years. It's just so much cheaper to either use motion tweens or go 3D, but the guys at MDHR put aside years of their time and brought it back with the most detailed 2D animation that's probably ever been in a video game. Cuphead is a Contra-style shoot-'em-up with large focus on boss fights. It's challenging, but not impossible. Your reward for defeating each phase of the boss is seeing the spectacle of animation its next form will take. It's difficult, but perfectly fair. Every attack is well telegraphed with an over-exaggerated wind-up animation. Every time you die, you get this screen showing exactly how close you were to beating it. Just when you were about to give up, you realize that you were so close, and you know this is gonna be the one. This time I will get it. Paying homage to the classic animation of the 30s and 40s, Cuphead hits every nail on the head. From the film grain to the color bleeding to the anthropomorphized inanimate objects and that iconic jazz that you can't help but to dance to. This soundtrack is something else, dude. My friend Dylan and I beat this on 2-player co-op in 2 sittings. We had a fantastic time learning the patterns and overcoming each and every fight. It's a feat and a half to get through, but trust me, it is worth the effort. Cuphead gets my pick for the best indie game of 2017.
Number 3.
Oh, now this is how you make a comeback. After growing stale over the years, Resident Evil 7 takes the series back to its roots, but in a very interesting way. It's honestly a lot like Resident Evil 1, all taking place on a single property. Unlike 6, the game actually makes you ration supplies, thoroughly searching the environment for anything you can use. This was the game that made me get a PlayStation VR. Replaying it in virtual reality was an incredible experience. I found it a lot easier to notice all of the nooks and crannies when you're actually physically looking around, and having those moldeds creep up behind you is enough to make you crap your pants normally. Oh my god, in VR, like, this game doesn't scare me. You guys know I'm real good with horror games. Not in VR, though. Not in VR. Putting that demo out last year was a really good move. I played the crap out of it. It had me hooked on the new direction the series was taking. I wanted to replay it over and over to find all of the secrets. People thought there was some mystery to it, like the finger. It was all red herrings, but it was so much fun trying to figure all that out. And it got me so interested in this game that I got it the day it came out. I think this is a great direction for Resident Evil. If we got 3 games in the tank control style and 3 games in the third-person shooter style, I'm really hoping for 2 more games in this style. I'm so glad to see survival horror make such a good comeback this year. I replayed this game so many times, and I already want to give it yet another playthrough. I definitely think it's one of the most replayable survival horror games since Resident Evil 4.
Number 2.
It's not a game, I'm not a robot, and I challenge you. I'm not a phantom, I'm in your face.
Oh, the wait for this one was really long. It was originally supposed to come out in 2014, and let me tell ya, it was worth the wait. Persona 5 is incredibly stylish. The menus, the transitions, the music, everything about it sparks with attitude. I've never been so constantly dazzled by a game's presentation. It makes juggling school with slaying demons more satisfying than ever. Man, I thought Persona 4 was good, but dang, dude, this game blows it out of the freaking water. The new gun mechanics and the added magical elements add a little bit more variety, but I was really glad to see them bring back the negotiation system from the earlier Shin Megami Tensei games. But of course, probably the most important thing in a JRPG is the story, and I absolutely loved what Persona 5 had to offer. What starts as a group of misfits exposing their gym teacher turns into a nationwide phenomena involving corrupt politicians and evil gods. Persona 5 has one of my favorite casts of characters in any RPG I've ever freaking played. Whether or not you actually like every character, you have to admit the story would not be what it was if it weren't for the collaboration between all of their contrasting personalities. Yusuke and Makoto were my favorites. Got that confidant with them max the frick out, dude. This is gonna sound a little bit weird, but I kinda really miss them. You know, when you spend over 100 hours with a cast of characters you really love to watch interact, you kind of get this weird homesickness after. You know, man, it's just such an amazing journey. The game's visuals really made me want to do some film stuff with them, so Brady and I did 2 Persona 5 parodies over on GARANIKOR, one poking fun at the burger eating challenge and the other parodying the game in general. Links to those are in the description if you want to check them out. Please watch them. It took me a long time to make these. If you've never played a Persona game before, even if you've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game before, I highly recommend Persona 5 if you're a fan of JRPGs. It's easily the best RPG I've played all year.
Number 1.
Oh, there is no series more important to me than the main series 3D Mario games. Odyssey brings us back to the old days of 64 and Sunshine, while blending in elements from Galaxy and 3D World. It is truly a culmination of everything that the series has ever dabbled in, with even more on top of it. The capture mechanic is one of the most brilliant things the series has ever introduced. It completely removes the need for power-ups, replacing them with abilities obtained by taking control of an enemy. This streamlines things so freaking well. You take a fire bro, use them for a little bit, and boom, toss them aside to get rid of them. It's all at your own pace too, and you get to explore several gigantic worlds looking around for moons. The classic non-linear structure that requires you to get a handful of moons, whichever ones you like, in no particular order, you know, aka the best freaking way to structure a platformer. It's back, baby. Mario's back, baby, and I've never been happier. I mean, like, it'd be one thing to slam out another killer Mario title, but Odyssey is fueled with love for the entire franchise. Nods to Donkey Kong, Mario 64, Dr. Mario, there's costumes referencing every inch of Mario's history, from Yoshi's Cookie to some obscure commercial. Everything, it's all here. Anything you can think of that Mario has ever done, it's in this game. Mario Galaxy 2 thought it was kicking things up a notch by having 242 stars. Mario Odyssey has over 800 moons. You can beat the game and they're like, oh, okay, let me just add some more to this level and this level. Let me just add some more moons to every single level. When you think the game's over, it's not over. And don't even get me started on that ending, actually. Oh my lord. Okay, no spoilers, but hey, I'm not gonna lie, I never thought I'd cry at the end of a Mario game. Like, it's like, in one special, magical moment, Mario's 30-year relationship with this giant dragon thing and this princess, it suddenly makes sense. As if Mario truly has transcended physical space, you know, world, galaxy, and he has become this magical concept, an idea, an Odyssey. When it comes down to 2017, nothing did it better than Super Mario Odyssey. It's such an amazing game, and nothing else this year even comes close. Except Persona 5, that was actually really close to being my number one, but nah, I gotta go with Mario, dude. Gotta go with Mario. So yeah, that was my list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's still quite a bit of games that I've yet to finish, like Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Xenoblade 2. There's just so much this year that it really is hard to finish those longer games. I barely got through Persona in time, powered through the rest of that back in September. Really glad I finished that. But yeah, 2018 is looking a little more slack, so that should give me enough time to catch up and finish those games. And of course, you guys gotta let me know what games you enjoyed the most this year. It was one of the best years for games ever, so you can't tell me there wasn't at least one game you really loved this year. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic new year, and take care.